Welcome back to the kitchen. I'm Adam, and today we're making improv mac and cheese. Let's go. Basically, the reason I'm calling it improv is because I don't have any instructions. Just like my last one, we're going straight from the noggin. So, whatever I tell you just came to my head right now. Improv mac and cheese. Yeah. Alright, here's everything I'm pretty much going to use. Got our cheeses. I'm going to sprinkle a little of each cheese in there. Triple cheddar, mozzarella, parmesan, butter, sour cream, penny, milk, salt and pepper. And we're going to do this in one pot because I hate dishes. Boil it up and put some salt in it. While we wait for the water to boil, you can set your noodles just this side of it. Just keep an eye on it. And we're gonna prep the other stuff. Basically, in this bowl now, while we wait for the water to heat up, we're gonna put some cheeses in here and just kind of prep or mix in and, go from there. So we're gonna do about 2 cups, but I don't feel like getting the cups thing out, so we're just gonna get a bunch of cheese, as much cheese as you'd like. All right, now that we got our cheese set, we're gonna put that aside right next and get the other stuff prepped. Now, if you haven't already, get as much pasta as you want out. There's about 1/4 of a box in here right now, but I'd probably say maybe like 2 cups of pasta if you had to measure. Get it ready, but mine's already in the box, so it's already ready. Okay, now we're gonna get like probably about, what is this, 1/2 cup, maybe 1/3 cup, 3/4 cup milk. We're just gonna prep it because we're not ready for it yet. But yeah, almost full on that. And once we're done with that, close it up. We're gonna go and get our sour cream as well. We're gonna get another similar, but don't go all the way up on this one. Sour cream, you probably want to go just half of this, so probably go 1/3 cup or 1/4 cup, depending on how much you like the sour cream texture. It's basically just going to be our heavy creamer for the mac and cheese. Okay, so now we got the cheese, sour cream, and the milk prepped, and our water just became ready. So it's boiling. When it's rolling boil like that, so you know the pasta's good to go in. And if for whatever reason your water doesn't cover, you might just want to add a little more water. But looks like we're in good shape. We'll let that cook and make sure you read what type of pasta, because this one says 10 to 12 minutes. So we're gonna actually go and time for 11 minutes, just so it's pretty al dente and not overcooked, because overcooked pasta is no good. With the pasta too, you're gonna wanna stir. I personally don't like when the noodles clump up together. And so stirring it constantly, make sure they all kind of stay separate as they cook. At this time too, you can knock it down from medium to right between medium and low. Just kind of keep that boil still running. We don't want it to overboil. Now, as that's cooking, one thing that becomes optional that I personally like to do is with the olive oil, saute some garlic, especially just creating a base for our pasta sauce, which is going to be our cheese sauce pretty much. So I'm going to do that right now. This is an optional part though. Again, though, that part's optional. You'll still need the olive oil. Another optional step, but one for the pros, is saving just a tad bit of our pasta water a little more. There we go. This will come in handy later, but again, is optional. As we near 3 minutes of cooking time left, good thing to do is prepare a strainer, because we're going to want to strain the noodles from its water. Here is a pro tip for you, and also optional, but with just under 2 minutes left, something that us amateur professionals like to do in cooking is while it's boiling, you take it off because it's gonna cool down and it's still gonna cook a little bit. So once you get it to just about the right temperature, you kind of let it simmer down and it's gonna cook just a little bit more. And just accounting for that with just a minute left kind of gives you a better noodle result. You can go ahead though, strain it out. Let that sit there. We're gonna be using the pan still, so go ahead and fire it up on low. And now we're ready for the other part. Olive oil comes in now. We're just gonna, hello, there we go. Just a little glaze on the bottom, not too much. You don't need it too oily. We just need it to kind of glaze the bottom like that. And then if you're not doing the garlic, feel free to skip this part. I'm gonna toss this garlic into there. I'm gonna saute it for just a little bit, but if you're skipping this part, just still get the oil a little bit hot. Let it over the heat for maybe a minute or two. Now, once you have like a nice clear, it starts to turn a little bit brown, go low on the heat. Now we're gonna put just a little bit of salt and pepper over it, just for a little taste. Now, after you get the garlic nice and brown like that, you're gonna wanna introduce just a little bit of butter. Cool it down as well. Now that we have that, it's kind of like our base. Now here's where the dairy comes in. First, we're gonna go with our milk there, followed by our pasta water. We're gonna throw it back over the heat. Make sure you just get a little swift. Let all the ingredients nicely coincide like that. And next we'll add the rest of it. While that's heating up as well, another optional piece, I like a little spice. So we're gonna go just a little bit with our crushed red. You know, a little spice, never hurt nobody. Once you've let that under a low flame for about a minute or two, now we can start sprinkling in our prepared cheese right here. So we're just gonna lightly throw some in, throw some more in. Adding it slowly like this over slow heat, or low heat rather. We're just gonna be able to watch the cheese slowly melt. We don't wanna go too high because we don't wanna burn the cheese at all. We want it to kind of slowly melt together. We'll slowly increase heat as time goes on, but we won't reach anywhere past medium on this kind of sauce cheese. Now, cheese looks worse before it looks better, so just hang in there, let it sit over that low heat. Don't try to rush it. I don't know if you guys can kind of see, but it's kind of starting to liquefy and all come together. Because once that cheese liquefies, it kind of all mixes. Then when it gets pretty saucy like this, it doesn't have to be all the way, like it could still be a little bit, you can see it's a little bit clumpy, because we're still gonna get the noodles back up to heat. So this will have a little more chance to melt as well. Before we do so though, we're gonna throw half of our sour cream in now to introduce it to our sauce. Leave a little bit, but there's some in there. After it's all mixed and over the heat for about a minute or two, what we'll now do is go get the noodles. Okay, now we're putting the noodles back in to what our sauce is now. Just gonna be careful, you don't want it to like fall on you. Just gotta go little by little. Noodles might become a little clumpy after being out for so long, but should be all right. They should recover very well. They're back in. mix, kind of. Starting to come together. You see it? You see the vision? You should start to look like this. You know, where all the cheese sauce is covering all the noodle. It's looking pretty good. Now, if you're a cheesy guy like me, you want to use that other half of the sour cream. That's why we kind of saved it, because it was kind of more so for taste. Feel like it could use it, and that's why we put it in. I also included some extra cheese, so that's going to be like more of the sticky stuff. It's going to be like what makes it stringy, if that makes sense. So we'll mix this all in. Once you can't see any more sour cream or cheese, let it sit for maybe about 2 minutes. Just let it all heat up right before you're about to eat it. And there we have it. There's your homemade mac and cheese. Homemade improv mac and cheese. All right, so now we're gonna try it, see how we did. Honest review. Al dente noodles. The cheese sauce is there. You can definitely taste the cheeses I put in. And you get that creamy sense. You get the little hint of the garlic, salt, and pepper. You know, slight kick with the little spices, the hot red. I think overall, for just having noodle and no pasta sauce, this meal works great. But if you do have pasta sauce, you pretty much just do the noodles part and mix it in. Or you can do the extra stuff too, but that is how I made homemade mac and cheese. And I will be eating this tonight for dinner.